All right, 17 minutes past 8 a.m. on a feel good Friday morning. The weekend is already on our minds, but hold that thought, pause, and let's live in the moment because we're about to take a walk into the locker room and talk about sports on a Friday morning. Ayokunmi here. Great to have you join us this beautiful, beautiful day, third day of January 2025. And you know that I never do this alone. I never walk into the locker room on my own. Take a look at the sports stories because I need to have with me, as always. Joining us this morning, as she always does, is the one and only Tega Supreme. Good morning to you, Tega. Great to have you in for the second time in 2025.
You'll never walk alone. You're
I will
Liverpool,
end.
Abby.
I will end this call. I will end this call swiftly. I will end it.
Oh my goodness. Good morning, everybody. Thank God it's Friday. Yes, you're not walking alone, even if you don't like them, but the song was just appropriate for your moment, for your intro.
Okay.
All right. Hope everybody had a fantastic week. Yesterday, Inter Milan continued. Inter Milan, the one and only. They just want to defend their title, um, winning their match by 2 goals to nil. Also, sad news from Nigeria. Remember,
Mm.
Nwabali lost his
Yeah.
father earlier, after in between the last FIFA winning,
Qualifiers. Yeah.
for the qualifiers. Well, he lost his mother again, just this in December. Really, really tough times for him. Um, So back to back bad news for Stanley Wabali. So if you can reach out to him via social media, extend your condolences. If you know him any further, then you can go further. But it is a tough time for the Super Eagles goalkeeper of Nigeria, losing parents so close to each other. And
Mm.
he hasn't had time to recover from one, and he's losing
Another
the other.
one. So
Really,
sad.
really tough one for him. So if you can, reach out and extend your condolences to Stanley Wabali. Also, we'll be discussing a few things. The United Cup is going on still in Australia. There's the Brisbane International where Sabalenka and Djokovic will move to the next round. We'll now touch on the weekend fixtures coming up. First of all, Friday, Real Madrid play today, and then we'll talk about the other matches across Europe. All right, so all that and more coming up inside the locker room. But Ayokumi, tell us, how can we be part of the locker room this morning?
I thought you'd never ask. You can join us this morning on the locker room as you usually do, as we love you to do. You can send your messages to us on WhatsApp 0809 444 0981. 0809 444 is the WhatsApp number. Send your messages to us. Then the studio line that hasn't changed as well. It's 0201 4489981. If you're just getting into the locker room for the first time, those numbers you should have saved, written down, and even in your memory as well. You can also join the live stream on YouTube. You'll find us at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Drop your comments there as well. Definitely be taking them alongside the WhatsApp messages as we go along. All right, Tega, let's get into the nitty gritty of what we have come to do. Stepping or starting in the world of tennis, where Katie Bolter fell agonizingly short of his stunning win over five-time Grand Slam champion Iga Swiatek, as Great Britain's hopes of reaching the United Cup semi-finals were ended by Poland.
Remember, Katie Bolter, we're talking about Naomi Osaka the other day.
Mm.
Katie Bolter felt exactly what Naomi Osaka felt. Exactly. So, this match was crazy. First set, Iga Swiatek started by leading this match by 4 games to 1. Oh, she broke Katie Belter earlier. She was leading by 4 games to 1 or 5 games to 2, one of the two. And Katie Bolter started winning game after game and took that first set where she was trailing by 7 games to 6. Then the second set came in. It's as if Iga Swiatek got angry. Then she beat Katie Bolter by 6 games to 1. Then, somewhere in the third set, Iga Swiatek started struggling physically. She had to call in a medical timeout because she got broken. She called the medical timeout, came back from medical timeout, broke back, and then these two girls just started slugging it out. It was pound for pound boxing. Floyd Mayweather versus Pacquiao. It was a completely different. It was not tennis anymore. It was, can you slug it out?
Mm.
And just when Katie Bota thought, I've gotten Shiontek on the ropes, Shiontek did her Rubado style. She was stunned.
I love the
Shiontek,
reference.
I'm telling you, Shiontek survived her own service game and then broke Katie Bota to love to take the match. Let me tell you how painful it was. Even after the match, the players now go down to warm down. They don't just go away. So Katie Bolter was warming down on the bicycle, which meant that she had finished stretching. She was now warming down on the bicycle. Even on that bicycle, she was so sad. Her trainer had to give her a hug. That's how painful it was. The match was over. In fact, they were already playing the doubles. And between the doubles and the singles, it's like 20 to 30 minutes.
Okay.
So this was 20 to 30 minutes after. She's on the bike, warming down, and she was still disappointed. Her trainer just went to hug her. I was like, Katie, I know what it means. She was this close to knocking out Iga Swiatek, and then she goes on to lose that one. So really tough one for Great Britain because earlier in the men's singles, Hubie Hurkacz had already won that, and so when Iga Swiatek won the ladies singles, of course Poland were already through, and so Poland faced Kazakhstan, and here is where the problem is going to be because after Iga Swiatek's match yesterday, she was struggling during her own warm down when she was stretching. She couldn't even lift her legs. She had to beg her coach to help her push her feet up so
Ah.
that she could hold her, yes, so she could hold her toes to stretch. That's how tough it was. And then she plays Elena Rybakina in the women's single, knowing that first of all, Elena Rybakina is a tough one for her any day. But to add the fact that she had that long match and she may be struggling with fitness, I wonder how she'll recover to play that. But yesterday, it was Katie Bota and Swiatek, and they gave us a good one. So, sad one for Great Britain, but good news for Poland. Remember last year, they lost in the final to Germany. So if they can make it to the final this year, I'm sure they'll be very happy. This is the semi-final they're making it to. They have to be able to defeat Kazakhstan before they can get to the final again. So let's see how it's going to work for them. But interesting, the world of tennis. Like I said, these people, they spend their Christmas and their New Year in strange lands. So next time they come and tell you that they had a long season, don't argue with them. Just give them a hug or squeeze
Mm.
something into their hands.
Press something in
Press
their hand,
something.
as they say. Ah, the wilder west, the BTA. Interesting times ahead. All right, let's switch gears and head into the world of football. And we're heading to the Serie A, where AC Milan's new coach, Sergio Conceição, said he could use more time to prepare for the Supercoppa Italiana match against Juventus, but assured fans that he would not get misty-eyed when taking on his son, Francisco, who plays for Juve. Get misty-eyed, though.
Better get
Let
Mr.
them
I,
sack
it's the
you.
kind of it's the kind of thing. But you know what? It's the kind of thing that will be emotional. I'm sure he's been watching his son. His son Consensal has been taking on the league by storm. That boy can dribble evil spirits. And he just as young as he is, I think it's the confidence of youthfulness. He doesn't care who is in front of him. He drives at defenses. He just takes out defenders just to get the ball into the right places. So he's fantastic at that. Brilliant footballer for Juventus, even if they are drawing every two market days. But you know how it is. Some people's teams may be having a bad day, but they'll be having a good day. And Contessa is one of those players. He just plays so brilliantly for Juventus. But AC Milan is coming into a transition. They're moving from Fonseca to Conceição.
Mm,
Not enough time to get used to the coaches, the new coaches' instructions, and then they have this big match looming ahead. Because as much as Juventus are drawing every single game, they are not losing.
exactly.
they are not
They're a huge
losing.
threat. They're a huge
They're
threat any way you
huge.
look at it.
They're huge threat. Anyway, you want to look at it. And so it's going to be a tough one for AC Milan. They don't even have a match that you can say, let me use this one to balance before I start facing, a tough one. It is tough title contenders after tough contenders. So it's a tough time for Conceição. It's such a big match for him to just step into and try to make a difference. But if he's going to make significant impact, or if he's going to make a statement, it's winning a match like this in your first match that can make everything easy for you. So yes, it's a tough one, but it's also an opportunity for him to make a statement. So Juventus, AC Milan this weekend, and Conceição on the sidelines against Conceição on the pitch. Brilliant watch for neutrals.
Brilliant watch for the neutrals. All right. I mean, from one coach who is starting and hoping to have a brilliant start right there, let's head over to a coach who hasn't had a brilliant start at all, and that's Ruben Amorim. Now, Gary Neville says he fears for Manchester United ahead of their Super Sunday visit to Premier League leaders Liverpool. And he's wondering, so should head coach Ruben Amorim stay true to his principles or change his formation at Anfield? Tega, so many questions, not enough answers.
Exactly. At this point in time, if you're Amorim, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. Because if you change this information, they'll say, oh, the players are already getting used to it, and now you've changed it and they struggled. If he leaves it, they'll be like, why did you change it? Don't you know you're playing against Liverpool? Look, at this point in time, it's going to be tough. The good news for him, though, is that he has a few players back, from suspension, so he can afford to tweak. And then he has learned his lesson. Look, you're playing when you were playing against Newcastle with the two South American thugs and a gambler. The mistake the mistakes he made in the first half, he's not going to repeat them this time around. It's
Yeah,
going to I
better
think he's
not.
going to yeah, I think he's going to have to mix that midfield up because now you're talking a different kettle of fish. You're talking Gravenberch, McAllister. These are engine houses. If you thought that Joe Linton was a American thug, hello, McAllister. So there's a reason the guy picks up a caution every other game. So at this point in time, it's going to be really tricky. But let's see how it works for Liverpool and for Manchester United. I know that there is no Manchester United fan that expects Manchester United to even come away with a draw. But Ruben Amorim is going to have to wave his magic wand and come up with some survival stuff. And yes, there are teams that have held Liverpool to draws when we thought that teams couldn't hold Liverpool to draws. So Ruben Amorim is going to have to change his formation. He is. He's going to have to play. He's going to have to play to win the match, as opposed to play to win his strategy. I don't know if you understand what that means. It's not the time to test if you have a superior strategy. It's the time to test if you have a superior tactics on the day.
Exactly.
That's what he needs.
Exactly.
That's what he needs to do. That's what he needs.
Most definitely. All right. Let's take a quick breather. And when we get back in, we'll talk about a couple of transfer news and rumors here. Chelsea, specifically, we'll see what's cooking at Stamford Bridge. Don't go anywhere. Keep it tuned to the locker room right here on the Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1.
But you see all this one now analyzing Amorim. Oh, Amorim this. People should leave this man alone. I beg. But even Amorim said people shut up. He didn't know it was this bad. You know how when you're outside, everybody has a solution. This Ten Hag
Oh,
should have done
yes.
this. He's now inside. He's like, I don't know what Ten Hag could have done.
I mean, we knew it was bad, but the level of badness,
I'm
it's
telling you, it
ridiculous.
keeps going. It keeps getting worse. It's as if the badness changes shape.
I now wonder, is it that these guys don't have to play ball again?
Ah,
Or what exactly?
ah. Or it's a combination of the wrong people at the wrong time. Because me, I know that Casemiro is a footballer every day of the week and twice on Sunday. But at Manchester United, he's looked like he's been stealing a little.
A lot of them
Well,
seem like
do
it's
you,
missing
do you understand? And then I also saw Ericsson, even after the surgery. for his country. But I see him
Even for
at Manchester.
Brentford, even for
Yeah,
Brentford before he
even
came.
for Brentford. Then you see him at Manchester United, and you're like, wait, what is so? All of them, I think it's a combination of everything. Wrong timing. I don't know.
Mm. All right, let's jump back in. You're welcome back into the locker room on a Feel Good Friday morning on Smooth 98.1. This is the Smooth Breakfast. Yes, getting you ready for a great Friday and a great weekend as well. Ayokunmi here. Tega Supreme is also on the show with me this morning, giving her unique perspective and, of course, sharing that banter, sprinkling that banter around as she loves to do. I'm not complaining. Hands are in the air. You can join us on the show this morning by sending your messages in to us on WhatsApp on 0809 444 0981. 0809 981. That is the WhatsApp number. Also join us on YouTube at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Drop your comments there. The studio line remains 0201 4489 981. All right, like I mentioned beforehand, we're going to be talking about some transfer rumors where Chelsea is concerned. Do you want to walk us through this one, Tega? What's going on the transfer front?
Okay, so I was going to use the transfer to lead into today's match for Real Madrid, but let's start with Real Madrid's transfer before we talk about Chelsea's transfer.
Okay,
Um, so remember people talking about Alexander Trent Arnold moving to Real Madrid. Um, and they asked Ancelotti, you only know the footballer that are playing for him. He
that's what they always
doesn't
say.
he doesn't know about products that are in the shopping mall. He only knows the products that are inside his house. but you know, Chelsea Alexander Arnold is talk now. Some people coming to say that the agents have already finalized. So the only thing is signatures left on the newspapers on the contract papers. Some people are saying that Liverpool has already rejected two moves, and they are looking at not selling him. Look, if you ask me, I can tell you for free, Liverpool can afford to let Trent Alexander-Arnold go. He's not that big of a deal defensively. Oh, you say, oh, we're sad, we're going to meet his process. That's what you have wingers for, you know. Trust me, that's what you have wingers and midfielders for. Wingers and midfielders are not there to score goals. That's not their primary assignment. They will do it if they're in a position to, but that's not their primary assignments. That's what you should not what you should judge them on. But yeah, so that's a tough one, but they can afford to let Trent Alexander Arnold go. Like I said, the bigger issue is the psychology. When other players start saying things like, "Oh, they didn't do all they could to keep a big player like that," then woe is me when I'm a nobody that they bought second hand from another club. So those are the psychological things they need to think about. Apart from that, tactically on the pitch, they can afford to let him go. So that's the one that's going on. But also for Chelsea, is Maresca coming to say that he has 5 players to give away, and Mikel Arteta started licking his lips because that's what it's just like Arsenal to collect another Chelsea reject.
you know
Um,
this. You know they use I see Chelsea player.
no, they say once the Chelsea player pass like this, it's like Brazilian week. He cannot has to do all it takes to get it. But yes, that's it. That's what Goretzka is saying. He has 5 players to give away, and if I'm one of those 5 players, it can be tough because at some point it looked like Chelsea had unlocked the code. Because having been able to have different teams for different reasons, and that's one of the
Hmm.
reasons they've been able to compete on several fronts because they have a completely different team for Europa, a completely different team for the Premier League, and just for good measure, they could afford another entire different team for the FA Cup and the Carling Cup. And now he's saying we want to send these players off so that we can find players to work on. I think one of the players he wants to give away is Felix. Because for
Hmm.
some reason, that boy has just not fit. I'm also thinking that Nkunku may be involved, but let's wait and see. I'm suspecting that Nkunku may be one of the players. Um, but let's wait and see. But yes, he has players to give away. So if you're Manchester United and you're looking for a quick buy, or Arsenal, this is where you usually shop anyway. This is the pond you fish in. And it's not far away. It's London, London. It's just north and south. I'm sorry,
That's
north
all.
and west. Just
Very,
go.
very simple. But Tega,
Just go.
talking about Yao Felix, isn't this his second spell at Chelsea?
Yeah, but again, he's not, look, he's not fitting in. And I don't understand. I understand his wages are a little too high. Maybe that's one of the reasons why, you know, he left Atletico Madrid.
Atletico.
Yeah, because the wages are a little too high. Um, but he fared better there than he does at Chelsea. So it's something that he must be one of the people that are ready to move. All right. So speaking about transfer market, we touched on Trent Alexander Arnold a little earlier. Let's talk about what happens to the supposed club he's moving to, or the alleged club he's moving to, Real Madrid. Because they play. Remember that game in hand Real Madrid had against Valencia. Remember it
Valencia,
was the
yes. It was
yeah it
postponed due
was
to the tragedy
the
in
post
Valencia, yeah.
yes, due to the flooding in Valencia. So this is going to be that makeup game today, actually tonight. It is Real Madrid taking on Valencia. I don't see how they don't get to the top of the table today. Remember, they're just 1 point behind rivals Atletico Madrid on the table. Um, and so they play their own game in hand today. And they play against Valencia with everybody well rested. So Vinicius Junior, Jude Bellingham had a great Christmas. I saw him bullying his father and then trying to make up for it with hugging. Well, he tried because he really didn't pass the ball between the father's legs, but during the boxing match, I could say he won the sparring. So he had a great Christmas, great rest. He was with family. He even had took off time to go and watch his brother during a game. So he's well rested. He's happy. He's gotten the love of his family. He's back. Vinicius Junior, the same thing. I can't say about the love of his family, but I saw him everywhere there was a party.
He's
Hanging out,
Brazilian now, normal.
hanging out with his boys with different hairstyles. So let's see how it works. The Magic players have rested now. They're in high spirits and good spirits. And before the break, they were in great form. So that game against Valencia, talking about the Valencia side that could barely buy a win, even with the brilliant football they've played so far, it's going to be a tough one to see Valencia come up with a result. However, because there was a break, we don't know how the teams are going to come back from the holiday. So that's the only hope in a teaspoon that Valencia has in this match. The only hope that they have.
Well, there can be miracles when you believe. So anything could happen. All right, let's talk about Thomas Tuchel. I mean, I had almost forgotten that he had the England job, really. It's been so quiet, but I guess because he's resuming this month, so he's back in the news. And he'll mark the official start of his England reign by watching Tottenham play Newcastle in the Premier League on Saturday. All right.
So everybody was wondering which big match he was going to go to. That's what the media was looking at because he's 3 days into his new job. The Premier League is on. Everybody was wondering which person he's going to look out for. He's chosen Newcastle against Tottenham.
Tottenham.
Yes, so those are the English players that need to be on their toes. He could have chosen Liverpool to Manchester United, but like I said, a lot of pundits already know who may come out tops in that one. No need to go to no need to go to a match where you can predict the results. But Newcastle, Tottenham, with the great form that Newcastle is in, it will be an interesting one against the Tottenham Hotspur, who tend to play excitable football, but in recent time haven't come away with desired results. And so that's a good watch. The thing about Newcastle, even against Manchester United, where people thought that Manchester United were going to get a beat down, Manchester United did have a few opportunities here and there. So Newcastle will give you those opportunities, especially when they start tiring out in the second half of the match.
Mm.
Especially when they start tiring out in the second half of the match, they will give you those opportunities. But so let's see how Tottenham fares against.
You're muted, Tega.
Sorry, hold on. Especially how with how Tottenham and Newcastle play their matches. So it's going to be interesting. But Thomas Tuchel will be out there looking for every new England player and English players. Trust me, like I said, they're going to be on their toes because Thomas Tuchel doesn't even. He's not from your hometown, so he doesn't listen to your press.
Mm-hmm.
And
Doesn't care about your feelings
he
like that.
doesn't care about your feelings. And he's been in England with Chelsea, and he knows how those criticisms can come in. So look, if anybody is more prepared for the job, Thomas Tuchel is. English players know that. So everybody's going to try to play their best. The good news for the club side is they're going to be trying to play their best for their clubs. So the
Most
club sides are
definitely.
already going, already going to be happy.
The World Cup is next year, so everybody needs to put on a
Everybody needs
good
to be on
show.
it. So speaking of Newcastle and Tottenham, Newcastle may be getting some good results now. But when you think about when Saudi has pumped money into teams, or money has coming from Middle East into teams. They fared a lot better. Newcastle have been quite disappointing, haven't they? Because truth be told, when that oil money came into Newcastle, I did think that by now they should be competing for the Premier League. Because remember when oil money went to PSG, it turned that club around. Went to Manchester City, it turned that club around.
But it
It's
took a
been
little
at
while
Newcastle.
before it did.
It was almost instant.
Uh-uh.
It was almost
If
instant.
you use Man City, Tega, they came in 2008, and I think they won the Premier League in 2011. Was it 11? 11 or 12? Can't remember exactly. When did when did Saudi come into Newcastle? I'm trying to remember
Let,
precisely
let,
how
let
long
me
it
confirm.
actually has been.
Let me confirm when the money started coming to Manchester City and how the fortunes turned around because it was almost instant. Because the money first came in and Mark Hughes was not the guy. Was it Mark Hughes that was the first guy then?
I
I
think
can't
I
remember.
think
But they
I
started
think it was.
yeah, but they started competing at the top already. They went straight from a mid-table team to the top. It was just the witchcraft of Sir Alex Ferguson that
The
held them.
witchcraft.
Yes, that held them at bay for a few seasons, and then remember, Ibrahimovic's money had also come to Chelsea and was working magic too. But Manchester City started competing. The competition was almost instant. They were not, but this Newcastle, they are not even competing with oil money. They are still mid. You know that they're still in European places, but they're not in Champions League places necessarily. Really. That's where
Hmm.
my problem is. Mm.
Right. I wonder.
I
Well,
just
well,
wonder.
well, this could explain it. A message on WhatsApp. This is from Ayo from Festac, and he says, I think Newcastle's issue is because Saudi has diverted their interest into their own league. So Newcastle is now an abandoned child.
Oh no, that's not a good thing to say, but yes,
Oh my goodness.
that will make some
Um,
sense.
Nathan Njoku from Kiri Kiri Town says, change formation or change tactics. So we will beat United on Sunday. It's just a matter of if it's going to be a high five or a 7-up. Ah,
Ah, my goodness.
ah. Tayo
Further for
says,
banter already.
Tayo says, in Man United we trust. Liverpool, please be gentle so that Ayo can come back on Monday. Man United is quite vulnerable this hour. Transfer window is going to show some club shiggy. Chelsea players are like bone straight to Arsenal. Sterling is on vacation over there. Disasi, in his brief stint, has been a disaster. Everyone is just coming for me this morning. Okay, no problem. It's all good.
Please, if push knock off for Ayo, I need him to come into the show on Monday. Except he
Uh,
want to host the locker room,
it
then
will shock all
feel
of you.
free.
Anyway, Fabinero says, fantastic 2-0 win for Inter Milan against Atalanta in the Italian Super Cup last night, with Dumfries scoring a brace for Inter. In other news, my club is still struggling to register Danny Olmo. How did we get to this point? FC Barcelona.
You don't
Mismanagement.
have money. You don't have
Hmm.
money.
Oluwaseyi says Newcastle is limited by FFP. They can't spend their owners' money. They have to earn to spend. So it's not that straightforward. And Emeka says our prayers and condolences to Mwabali and his family. No one deserves to lose a loved one. All right, and just one more on YouTube here. Let me see here. This is from where's that message? I saw it just now. This is from Padre Pio or Pio. With Liverpool's current form, it's gonna be a question of how many goals Onana can concede. Not a good time to be a United fan, Ayo. Tega, you might have to do this show alone on Monday at this point because
Please, I'm
I don't
begging if
know.
people should not chase my eye. And on that note, I want to thank you for sending in your messages to Smooth 98.1 FM. Also remember Arsenal is involved this weekend after being involved in midweek matches. There's going to be let's see how Manchester City, if they can sustain their winning run. So all of that will be happening this weekend. Let's see how far we go with all of that. Thank you for sending your messages. Thank you for streaming via YouTube. And thank you for tuning into Smooth 98.1 FM in this new year, 2025, to listen to the locker room. Till we come your way again on Monday, you know how we say it, pray that your club is not fodder for banter. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend, Tega. Thank you as always. And thank you for being a part of the locker room Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8:15 a.m. Keep it tuned to the Smooth Breakfast line of great music, taking you into your Friday and, of course, the weekend as well.